Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Minds and Money London, 1st and 2nd December in London. Unfortunately, we cannot participate in the conference, but Commodity TV is, of course, virtual here with you. And I want to start with my first interview today already. Golden Independence Mining, Christos Doulis, the CEO, is here with us. Hey, good morning to Toronto. How are you doing, Christos?
Oh, it's a lovely day in Toronto, a bit chilly, but bright and sunny.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that. Great. Golden Independence Mining, you are the first time on our channel. Can you give us in 3-4 sentences a short overview on the company, please?
Absolutely. We are a one-project company focused in Nevada. Our project is adjacent to the operating Phoenix mine. It's a piece of property with quite a bit of resources on it. We have a total resource of about 1.48 million ounces of gold, and that's divided into two components. A near-surface component, which is a heap leach component that we're very actively pushing towards a production decision. And then the other component is a deeper but much higher grade underground skarn, similar to the Fortitude skarn, which was mined out in the 80s and 90s and was a very robust asset.
Fantastic. So that seems like that you guys want to bring this into production. I think the market is also waiting for your PEA 2021. So there's not that much time left in 2021. Will it come in December?
We certainly believe, and the latest conversations I had with our consultants, we are on track to deliver the PEA hopefully in the next few weeks. So yes, we should have that PEA in hand prior to the end of the year. And coincident with delivering that PEA, we'll basically have completed our earn-in with our private partner, and we'll actually own 51% of the project and take over with as a role of operator with a 10% operator fee. So lots coming in the next 6 weeks, both the completion of the PEA and the completion of the earn-in, which ultimately leads to the formation of the joint venture with our private partner, America's Gold Exploration Inc.
Okay, super. So 51%, can you put that also higher through more work, more money spending?
We have an option to put another $10 million into the ground over 3 years to get to 75%. To be blunt, I do not think I will exercise that option. Look, the market is currently telling me that my 51% of this project is worth somewhere around 9 million or 10 million Canadian. So to put 10 million US into the ground for another 24% doesn't seem to be the best idea at given current valuations. The other challenge that we face is, look, even if we were to pursue that increase in interest in the project, we would still be left with a public-private partnership at the end of the day, a 75-25 as opposed to 51-49. That's not ideal from our perspective. We would much rather consolidate the project 100% into the public company. So I suspect we won't exercise that portion of the option agreement, and we'll either continue on a 51-49 basis, or we will be successful in convincing our private partner to consolidate with us and have the project 100% in Pubco. So that's my expectation in 2022.
Yeah, which I fully understand, because it's always good to have then a 100% control, even if you have to pay an NSR in the future or whatever. I think it's always good to have it fully under control. I saw in your presentation you have open pit plus underground. So I assume open pit would be the start, to mine, let's say, the more easy ounces, I would call it, to have a fast payback. And what caught my interest was underground, the high-grade skarn. That looks quite promising.
Absolutely. So to be clear, there are two aspects to this project, as you stated. There is a low-grade, near-surface, heap leach amenable resource, and it's heap leach amenable primarily because it's been oxidized rather than sulfide material. So that is certainly what we have been focused on in the first year and change of our existence or working on this project. A year and a half ago, this company didn't have the Independence project. We acquired it in August of 2020, and we have been very focused in the first year of our life in both completing the earn-in, which we're very close to doing, but we also thought that it was very important to demonstrate that we have an economic project here, and that's the heap leach aspect of the project. So we will deliver that PEA before year's end and show that there's an economic project here. Whether we push the economic heap leach forward is a matter for some consideration still. Look, the truth of the matter is we think that this heap leach project is somewhere in the neighborhood of around 35,000 ounces of gold equivalent production per year. It will have capex, that is manageable for a company our size. But
what means manageable, the capex size?
Well, probably in the 50 million US range, of which we would finance a large proportion of it by debt rather than equity. So all said, what I'm saying is, look, the heap leach is a nice little project for a junior emerging company, and we certainly see value in pushing it to production. Should that be the path we take? We believe we can fast track the heap leach into production, given the location within the plan of operations of the Phoenix mine. But to be clear, I think that the real potential value creator and massive lift for the company is unlocking the value of the high grade skarn. So the heap leach is kind of cookie cutter for Nevada. There are lots of heap leach projects that are around a 0.5 gram gold, and they make money, but they're 1,200 AISC, so they're certainly not low cost. And there's lots of these kind of heap leach assets in Nevada. What there aren't as many of are the world-class potential high-grade projects. So we're adjacent. We're a mile to the east of us is the active Phoenix mine operated by NGM, and it is currently mining the low-grade sulfide remnants of what was once the high-grade Fortitude skarn. So between the mid-'80s and the mid-'90s, Battle Mountain Gold mined a 2.3 million ounce skarn at 7.5 grams at depth. And then in 2006, Newmont came in and built the Phoenix mine to mine the remnants of that skarn, and that's grading that's 0.6 grams gold and 0.2% copper. So it's certainly not, it's a big open pit, low grade operation. We believe that the skarn that we have on our property, 800,000 ounces at 6.5 grams, just under 800,000 ounces, I should say, at 6.5 grams, we believe that could be similar to the Fortitude skarn. We know that there are drills that show that the skarn extends to the north off of our property onto NGM ground. So our belief is that ultimately, if we can wrap a resource in excess of 1.5 million ounces on the skarn, and that's both on our property and extending onto NGM ground, that is the kind of asset that NGM would have a very significant interest in developing. And right now they've got about 10 years of reserve life left at Phoenix at 0.6 gram and 0.2% copper. We think it would take quite a while, maybe 5 to 8 years, to drill off the skarn and wrap a mine plan around it. But that would coincide with kind of the diminishing reserve life at Phoenix. And so in a decade, or potentially a little bit less time, you could see Phoenix transformed from running 0.6 gram material to running 6 gram material through their float mill. And, it could allow Phoenix to live up to the name and have a real rebirth and become a valuable operation, or I shouldn't say it's a valuable operation right now within NGM, but a marquee operation within the NGM portfolio. So if we go it alone, we will focus on the heap leach project and pushing it into production. But to be clear, we think that the kind of net present value range for that kind of project is in the 50-ish million, maybe plus or minus 10 or 15 million. A good number, but certainly not the 100 million plus, kind of number that you could see being associated with the value of a high grade underground resource, so long as it's there. The challenge that we face is the heap leach is, if we push the heap leach forward, we get much closer to near-term cash flow, right, by building it and then enjoying the benefits of producing gold. If we focus on the big prize at depth, each of those drill holes is very expensive. They're deeper, but the other issue is it's a proof of concept exercise. It's showing that the 800,000 ounces is twice as big. It doesn't get you anywhere closer to cash flow. So, as a junior mining company, we have to make that decision about whether we want to get closer to cash flow by advancing the smaller value portion of the project, or whether we want to swing for the bleachers, as they say in the baseball world, and try and get a home run and show that this skarn is a world-class, bigger asset that, NGM should basically exploit.
That's right. But it's also maybe easier to show the world-class potential of the high-grade skarn when you are earning money, because then you can use that, of course. Yeah, so that makes life much easier. So what is the status of the permitting? Because I saw in your presentation you have only like 18 to 24 months, despite we normally say in Nevada it's 36 months, right? 3 years. So what are the advantages you are having let's say in the context to that shortening of the permitting time?
So our entire project is located within the plan of operations for the Phoenix mine. And basically that gives you about a year leg up on the permitting. You know, the truth is that it is always easier to build a mine somewhere where a mine has already been built. Effectively, NGM has done quite a bit of the baseline environmental work for us. So our permitting process is more of an update and a refresh than a build from the ground up. And so that's really the secret is that, you know, if you build within basically the brown field of an existing operation, the regulatory agencies, even in the US, you know, which has a much higher, a much more stringent regulatory process in some jurisdictions, if you build where there's already an existing operation, they're much more amenable. The regulatory agencies are certainly more happy to see you building a mine where they've already permitted a mine to be built.
Okay, super. Where do you, hang on, where is that here? Yeah. What is cash in the company? One question, and other question, what is after the PEA, meaning now 2022? What are your important catalysts coming up?
So right now, today, we have about 1.5 million cash left. As at November 1st, we were about $200,000 US from completing our earn-in. That number has changed slightly. I think we're about 130,000 today. So we're certainly fully financed to complete that earn-in. And we'll end the year with over $1 million Canadian in cash, which is great. $1 million goes a long way in terms of keeping the lights on. The challenge is it doesn't go very far into a project. So, you know, we'll have to make a decision at some time before the end of the first quarter about how we're going to continue advancing the project. I'm certainly not terribly enthused to raise money given our current share price. I don't really want to raise a lot of money from the public markets, but we do think that once we form the joint venture, which comes with completing the option earn-in in the next few weeks, we do think that will open the path to us to potentially striking a deal with another mining company, potentially our neighbor or another active entity in Nevada, to help push forward the skarn. So it's our kind of position that this is really what it boils down to. If I'm spending our money, I've got to get us closer to cash flow, and that means it's got to be the heap leach project. If I'm spending somebody else's money, I want to swing for the bleachers and show that the skarn is much, much larger. So that's really the challenge that we face in 2022 is deciding which path we want to go on. But in terms of the catalysts in the very short term, as I indicated, right, we've got the PEA completion, we've got the earn-in completion. That leads to the joint venture. Hopefully the joint venture then opens the door for a strategic investment from either our neighbor or somebody else. So after a bit of a slow summer, or I shouldn't say slow, but quiet, because we've been very active, you know, delivering the PEA, but we've been quite quiet from a news release perspective in the last little while. But it should heat up over the remainder of 2021 and going into 2022. We'll have quite a bit more activity now with the earn-in complete, the joint venture in place, and all that kind of stuff.
Super. Last question. I saw that you did a spin out. So what have you done there? What was the, let's say, the benefit for your shareholders?
So prior to Golden Independence becoming Golden Independence, it was effectively a shell with with one asset in it called the Champ property. When the option on the Independence project was rolled into the company, you know, we switched our focus completely from the Champ property over to Independence. So we have now spun out the Champ property into a company called High-Low Mining. Shareholders of Golden Independence received a fractional share. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's a small number. So if you had a bunch of iGold shares, you'll now have a few Hilo shares as well. So, you know, we've created a little bit of value for our shareholders by giving them a publicly traded asset that they can sell. And to be blunt, it also, we crystallized some value in the company by divesting that asset. So we brought a little bit of cash in as well. So, you know, the divestment of Champ into Hilo unlocked a little bit of value for our shareholders, you know, kept our focus on the Independence project and put a little bit of money in the till as well. So happy with that.
Super. Perfect. Christos, thank you very much. I wish you Merry Christmas, all the best, and look forward to your PEA. Hope you can present some good numbers, because my feeling is that this gold market will soon have a beautiful comeback after we have the futures markets behind us on 30th November, and gold looks quite good. And so for you, hopefully too. Wish you all the best, and thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you so much for taking the time to reach out and find out more about the Golden Independence story.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Christos Doulis, the CEO of Golden Independence Mining. And you heard it, the PEA is right in front of them. So hopefully that they will show some very good numbers. And I like the fact that they can have an open pit option plus a high-grade underground skarn. So lots of optionality. One can finance the other, or they bring in a bigger partner. So I would suggest you check out the company. Thanks for watching us. And that was Mines and Money London Commodity TV for you. Bye-bye from Switzerland.